Hundreds of firefighters battled a series of fires that threatened homes in North Monterey County. Good evening, I'm Shannon Hogan. Now, fire danger hits North Monterey County and San Benito County on a very windy weekend. Firefighters surrounded the town of Aromas today as a small fire that broke out on Sealy Avenue led to a number of extra spot fires in the area. It's those extra fires that had firefighters' attention, especially with today's windy conditions and the easily flammable eucalyptus trees in Aromas. Now, while there were no calls for resident evacuations, some people were kept from their homes while the crews were hard at work.
The closer we got to home, the closer we found it was up our street. So, thank God everybody's house is okay. And it's just we can't get home yet because we're kind of close toward the end of the road. But it's contained and we'll be home soon.
The fires have since been contained. All told, some 40 acres were burned and some homes were damaged. The threat to the property led to a major response from fire crews on the ground and in the air. About 200 firefighters from CAL FIRE and local departments from Monterey County, San Benito County, and Santa Cruz County were called to the scene, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. CAL FIRE says crews will remain in Aromas tonight and into tomorrow to mop up the hot spots and keep an eye out for any of those flare-ups. And let's turn to PJ Javahari with more on those conditions for the firefighters out there, but at least the wind has died down a little bit, right, PJ?
It has. You know, Shannon, it's been really the last couple of hours. The wind speeds as of this afternoon were still about 15 to 20 miles per hour. And of course, yesterday we were talking about mid-30s to about 40 miles per hour. But take a look outside right now. Temperatures in the mid-50s. It's 54 in Salinas. It's also 54 in Monterey and a little cooler in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz expected to really drop down to very cold temperatures tonight in the low 40s. But the key component here are the winds calming down a little bit in Salinas. Still at 13 miles per hour by the coast in Monterey and 3 miles per hour in Santa Cruz. And just speaking to our weather watcher in Watsonville, Stephen reported a gust of 39 miles per hour last night. All of that associated with the storm system, its associated front, and very cold air rushing south towards the central coast the last 24 hours. And even a few snowflakes up there around Lake Tahoe we'll talk about momentarily. But a quick cast, your temperatures tonight, mid-40s around the coast, looking at 45 in Salinas. And we'll go with sunny skies after some morning clouds around the coast and temperatures generally in the mid-60s to about 70 degrees, Shannon. And we'll have the forecast coming up soon.
All right, thanks so much, PJ. A fire alert now. The fire season around the state is still in its initial weeks. Firefighters in Southern California have been battling a growing wildfire in San Bernardino County. The sheep fire, as they're calling it, has led to the evacuation of thousands of residents. It's destroyed 3 homes and continues to be fueled by high wind gusts of up to 40 miles an hour. The fire is spread to 7,500 acres, is about 20% contained. Earlier today, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger declared a state of emergency for San Bernardino County. And further south of the Central Coast on Highway 101, a small brush fire broke out today in Ventura County, burning in mostly open space and threatening no homes. California isn't alone this weekend with the fire danger. A 1,000-acre wildfire is burning out of control in Arizona near the gateway to the Grand Canyon. And new information tonight, 2 men were shot in a South Salinas condo last night just before 10 p.m. Police say a gunman barged into the condo and began shooting at 4 people inside. One of the victims was flown to a Bay Area hospital while the other victim was taken to a local hospital. Both are expected to survive their injuries, and police add that one of the bullets went through a wall and hit a woman watching TV in the condo next door. Unfortunately, the bullet only grazed the woman. It's believed the gunman did not have the intent to rob the residents, and it is being investigated as possibly being gang-related. Now, a man was shot last night while walking in Gilroy. The shooting happened near the intersection of 7th and Chestnut. Police say the man was confronted by at least 3 other males and was shot in the back. The victim was flown to a hospital but is expected to survive. That is also being investigated as a gang-related crime. And CHP says 2 people were killed in a head-on collision on Highway 101 yesterday. And the crash happened near the Dunbarton intersection just south of the Red Barn. Investigators say the driver of a pickup truck heading north on 101 lost control of his vehicle. He then swerved into oncoming traffic. The truck hit a car head-on and rolled over into the southbound lanes. The driver of the car was killed on the scene. His passenger was flown to a Bay Area hospital where she also later died. Both have been identified as East Bay residents. And an unusual effort against domestic violence is making its way through the Central Coast. Last week, 2 people began a more than 530-mile walk from San Francisco to San Diego to raise money for domestic violence and homelessness. And today they were right here in Monterey County.
My name is Danielle Pierre. This is Timothy Pena. We're the founders of Walk It Out Fundraiser. We are walking from San Francisco, California to San Diego, California in order to raise funds and awareness for domestic violence and homelessness.
There's over 1 million homeless people in America today, and a big percentage of that are women and children. And that's just an issue for the problems that we've been through in our lives, very close to our heart.
We are trying to raise a significant amount of funding for the shelters, and it will go to one of our beneficiaries, or recipients I should say, is the Nicole Brown Foundation. Also various different homeless shelters and domestic violence shelters throughout the state.
And I mean, my hair stand when I talk about it, because you know, we have to help as best as we can. I know this nation is going through a lot of problems right now, but I think anybody could just do anything. We decided to walk.
Now, they are hoping to make it to San Diego by November 1st. And opponents of the idea of Carmel Valley Incorporation held a barbecue today in the community to gather support ahead of the November election. They say if Carmel Valley becomes a city, they'll have to pay higher taxes for a new city infrastructure. In addition, there would be more development and less local control.
We're opposed because there's no way that a city can't not grow and use every means possible to generate revenue. So the idea that somehow we can keep everything that we have now and be a city, those are mutually exclusive.
And some high-powered people, however, are set to endorse Carmel Valley Incorporation. Congressman Sam Farr, Assemblyman Bill Monning, County Supervisors Jane Parker and Dave Potter will officially endorse Yes on G at a special event at Carmel Middle School. They'll be joined by former Assemblyman John Laird from Santa Cruz. And it all means that we're less than a month away from the November 3rd elections. The Monterey County Elections Department will start mailing election materials starting tomorrow. And only voters in the area with local contests will receive election materials, along with Carmel Valley's Measure G, Salinas' Measure K, and Pacific Grove's Measure J are at stake. Voters who believe they're eligible and haven't received materials are being asked to contact the Elections Department. In California right now, a national memorial to firefighters killed in the line of duty took place in Maryland today.
James N. Ramage, USDA Forest Service.
More than 100 firefighters from 36 states were honored at the annual memorial in Emmitsburg. 7 California firefighters who lost their lives in 2008 were among those remembered. The ceremony marks the start of National Fire Prevention Week, focusing attention on the loss of life and property caused by fire. And a ship was set to set sail from San Francisco Bay this weekend with donated goods and supplies for those affected by this week's devastating earthquake and tsunami. Now, volunteers collected goods and packed them for shipment. Many of those volunteering have family in Samoa. Donated items included everything from water and canned goods to baby clothes, medical supplies, and even some toys for the children. The shipment is expected to arrive in about 2 weeks. And coming up, we'll check back with PJ for more on the work week weather ahead. Plus, one of the most recognizable faces on Hispanic television makes an appearance right here on the Central Coast.